Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to European Truck Simulator 2, and welcome back to Catanzaro. Man, you know, if we were in this town and we needed directions and we were like, scusi, and the person would be like, yeah, I speak English, what do you want? And I'd be like, I'm trying to get to, if I said Catanzaro, he'd be like, yeah, Catanzaro. And if I said Catanzaro, he'd be all, you mean Catanzaro. So I don't know. I'm just gonna go with guess. So it is 11 a.m. Let's find a job. As lovely as this place is, let's find a job and keep working our way back up toward our turn. Now, Mascara. That's not bad, and it will take us through this little town over here, Bari. We can cross that off our list. And it looks like Palermo. Nope, that's the other way. Napoli, we've already been there. Catania, we've already been there. Bari. Now that's a possibility because it takes us through this town too. Whereas this other one, does it? Does it? I suppose it could. What do you want to do? 470 kilometers. That's about right. Let's do it. And we're not good on heavy cargo, and we don't really care. Right. Let's hop in here. Break off. 150 kilometers. See, it does this. Moment. I say it does this like it does it to me. It doesn't do it to me. It just does it. Okay, so that starts there. Where does this one go? This one leaves from town. It's 317 kilometers. All right. That was what I meant to say anyway. JK. LOL. Here we go. So I have to tell you, I'm a little bit excited because I finally got my, it's hilarious. It really is, in kind of a mental way. See, what had happened was, you know my deal with project cars and Assetto Corsa. I try to alternate back and forth between the two, and I also try to alternate back and forth between sports cars and open wheel. So we did that long race at Le Mans with the GT cars. So we were due for both Assetto Corsa and open wheel, and man, I fell down a hole. It's like a K-hole, but instead of horse tranquilizer, it's video games. Other than that, identical. So let's get hooked up and then I'll tell you what's going on. It's exciting. I think it is. Alright. Safety first. Yes. I don't think it's going to give us a choice of trailer, or if it does, I'm feeling like our branded trailers are not going to be in the mix. But you know what? That's okay. Where's our turn? There it is. My goal today is always no damage, no tickets, but my other goal is not to hook any curbs. I've been doing that lately. It's kind of bothering me. And of course, wait till the gate is all the way open. All the way. Right. View the job offer. Indeed we will. Let's view it. Nope, no choice. So we're taking 22 tons of ceramic tile to Bari. Bari? Bari. Bari. There it is. Easy, Hot Wheels. Easy. Oy. Oh. Folks, I don't know what happened. I swear, I used to be less bad at this. I'm gonna have to go back and check the tape. Check the archive. I think I'm gonna miss it again. Maybe, maybe. Yep. Wow. Come on. Come on. One time. Give it to me one time. Jeezy Pete's. Don't think we need lights at 11 a.m. Turn down my headset just a little bit. Lift axle up. Let's go to Bari, and I'll tell you what's going on with racing sims. So, the sims that I'm really into, European Truck Simulator and Farm Sim 2017, heavily modded. Heavily modded, right? American Truck Simulator, less so, but only because there are less mods. If there were more mods to put in there, oh, I'd put them in. You know how I like to get down. So, I'm all about like, oh, I don't want some sandbox game, right? I want the real deal. Give it to me. So that's what I do with my truck sims. That's what I do with my farm sims. And I guess because Project Cars 2, you can't really mod it, I had sort of lost sight of the fact that you can mod Assetto Corsa. And there are a ton of mods for it. Well, sure enough, I started with some cars, and I got some tracks, and then I sort of left it at that, right? I didn't really get as fully ridiculous as I normally get, right? Like, ugh, never go full retard? Well, yeah, sometimes you do. But I didn't with Assetto Corsa. And then, like I told you, my dilemma, my conundrum, we're due for open wheel, but we're due for Assetto Corsa. And there are open wheel cars in Assetto Corsa. I've said this before in videos. There are vintage Formula One cars. We've done that. And there's like one per year Ferrari Formula One cars. But you can't race them against each other because they're vastly different performance, and if you wanted to race, it would have to be a spec race, right? It would just be a field of identical Ferraris, and that's really not much fun. This ain't the IROC. So, trying to figure out what to do about that, I thought, because if you go to Race Department I think is one of the best resources for Assetto Corsa mods and content. So if you go to Race Department, there are Formula One cars, but again, they're like labors of love. So they'll be like the 2004 McLaren and the 1996 Williams and the, right? It's you can see that they're cars that people built because they really love that car from that year. But how am I going to race a field of these, right? I can't, I'm not able to find like the entire 2004 grid. I can only find one or maybe two cars. So then I type in, I go to my favorite search engine, and I types in Assetto Corsa F1 season mod. And sure enough, I find not one, but two 2018 full field. So it's all the cars. One pack has the entire grid plus the safety car. So now I've got my cars. So then I go online and I look at the calendar for this year for 2018. And about half the tracks are in the base game in Assetto Corsa. About half the tracks are in Assetto Corsa base game. And then I find a pack that has the remaining tracks. So I'm like, oh, sweet, I am killing it. And I thought I was good. Thought I was good right there. But no. I start prowling around for controller settings. Because, you know, I'm on the pad, right? I'm not on the wheel. I'm not on the stick. I'm on the pad. So I start prowling around and I find some threads about how critical it is to literally tune your controller if you're going to be racing. And there's kind of a humbling moment coming up. And I'll tell you something about me. I secretly love those moments. Because I'm kind of an egomaniac, a little bit. And every now and then I get humbled. And your first instinct when that happens is to hate it, right? Oh, I don't want to be humbled. And I feel that way, absolutely. I don't want, come on, man. But then immediately afterwards, it's like, this is how we grow. Living and learning, baby. All growth. This is a Zen moment coming up. You ready for your Zen moment? All growth, all learning, all progress comes from frustration. We only fix things that we see as broken. So the only way you will ever improve any part of your life is if you recognize it as deficient. Whether it actually is or not, doesn't matter. But until you become frustrated enough by the way something is to change it or fix it or make it better, you won't. So a life of constant growth, a life of constant progress, is a life of constant frustration. That's deep, man. That's deep. But that's what you need to keep in the front of your mind. When something happens that humbles you, your first instinct is, F you, buddy. I know what I'm doing. And then the follow-on to that needs to be, I can learn from this. I can grow from this. So, I fancied myself quite the simulation driver. I've mentioned before that I can outdrive like any of my friends. Of course, I play a lot more video games than they do because they have like spouses and families and kids and businesses and stuff, and I don't have those things. I'm the portable gamer. So, because of that, I sort of fancied myself quite the racer. And what I realized is, like, when it comes to setup and things, setup of the car in the game, it doesn't matter what sim it is, but if it's a racing simulator that has setup, I can tweak and tune the car a little bit. But when I found out that stuff about tuning your gamepad and getting those settings just right, I hopped back in and I immediately took like 5 seconds off every lap that I was running in every sim. Yeah. And it got me to thinking, and I started looking up real lap times, real record lap times for real tracks online, and then going to those same tracks. And I was always like 7 or 8 seconds off. Right? Like my best lap time at Albert Park is about 10 seconds. The record is a minute 25. My best is a minute 36. Right? And I'm thinking, man, these sims, they're pretty accurate. They're pretty accurate. Right? Surely those lap times are accurate as well. Right? The AI on 100% or 100% plus, because the Albert Park record is in an F1 car. So surely, now granted, it's not the 80s where they were running 1200 horsepower turbo V10s or something maniacal like that. We got the little turbo V6. but you know what I mean. Why am I not running it, right? If I'm so good, why am I not running those record times? And I got to thinking, I am that good, but I'm not. And that got me thinking about tuning the car. And I've always been kind of casual about tuning my cars. Sometimes I don't tune a car at all. I just jump in it and drive. And what I realized is, and this was my very humbling moment, what I realized is, man, I'm not even driving these cars well enough to need to tune them. I'm not joking when I say that. Like, I'm off the line, I'm braking early, I'm braking late, I'm sliding, I'm tearing up the tires. I'm just a hack. I'm just a hack, man. It really, really was very humbling to realize that I drive so badly, I don't even need to tune the car. I can just hop in it and drive because I'm driving so badly, it doesn't matter. So, really, really got me thinking about being a better driver, being a more consistent driver. And I've said before, like, oh, you know, the AI in Assetto Corsa is so hard. It's not fair. It doesn't matter how well you drive. Well, based on what I learned about controller setup and based on really making a concerted effort to be a more consistent driver, I find that I can begin to turn the AI up and up and up. And I think, because I've been searching for that number, like, how high do I want to crank the AI? I want it to be challenging. I don't want it to be impossible. I'm just going to have to, like, pick a number in the middle and say that's my number. You know, what if I get better? Do I raise it? And I finally realized that what I want to be doing is I want to have the AI on 100%. Nothing more, nothing less. I want to have the AI on the real... I'm guessing that, as accurate as these games are, I'm guessing 100% translates to pretty close to accurate lap times. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set the AI to 100% and force myself to be a good enough driver that either I can compete, either I can compete or I can't. But that's how it has to be. So that gamepad tuning thread got me into some other apps for Assetto Corsa, for the HUD, specifically tire management. And in tuning, you know, a good way to sort of get a handle on your tune is to observe your tire temperatures. Are they consistent from side to side? Are they consistent per wheel across the width of the rubber? Right? You get what I'm saying. Just eye-opener. And swapping out, I had some other information that I had up in the HUD. I got rid of that, and I am using an app now called Pitboard, which is very limited information, but it's what you would see on a pitboard. So it's all kind of coming together there. And as I was looking up and finding those things, I also found the Good Bad Weather suite, which just absolutely blows up the weather in Assetto Corsa. It changes the entire feel of the game. And then, because Good Bad Weather suite will only run through Content Manager, I found a new way to build championships, and that also kind of cued me into Reshade and SweetFX. So without even intending to, I have, we're going fast again. I have completely changed the way that I approach Assetto Corsa. I always thought graphics, they're alright. A little cartoony, not doing it for me. And I also thought the AI is too hard. It's a great game, very realistic physics, but between the graphics not being so great and the AI being too hard, I'll stick with Project Cars too. Well, totally changed my take on Assetto Corsa. So the game is heavily modded now. Mod cars, mod weather, mod graphics. We're running through Content Manager. It's a scene, man. It's a total scene. And I also went into Content Manager and built the 2018 season. And I'm going to race the 2018 season. One race at a time. We need to get a little bit caught up. Spain was this morning in real time. Today is May 13th. So Spain was this morning, and it was round 5, and I believe they're off for a couple weeks, and then they do some flyway races. I'll have to look. No, I'm sorry, it's Monaco, and then a pause, a couple weeks off, and they show up in France. Basically, I need to get caught up. But I think if I do 1 or 2 Grand Prix per week, and if they're doing 2 or 3 per month, I think I should get caught up fairly quickly. Probably about 6 weeks. So I'm going to do a full season, and I'm going to do the races at 50% length, 100% difficulty. And there are some things, I considered getting F1 2017, and there's a couple reasons that I'm not going to. One reason is F1 2018 will be out in a few months. The second reason is I have too many sims going as it is. I don't want to add another one. But the reason I would go with FS 2017 or FS 2018 when it's released is there are things, I know, there are things missing from Assetto Corsa that you can't, as far as I know, you can't add them, and there are things like cautions and yellows, safety car, virtual safety car, which really affects pit strategy. If you know there are not going to be any yellows, right, then there's no pit strategy. Is basically like stop halfway through the race. There's no good time or bad time to stop. You just stop at a predetermined time. So it's not bad. It's just that, it's not a Formula One simulator. It's a driving and racing simulator, and that's not what it was designed to do. As always with mods, we are pushing these games to do things that they weren't intended to do. I'll take a look around. I've found a ton of mods for Assetto Corsa that I didn't know existed, so I will take a look when I'm done here and see if there is a safety car and caution mod. But I didn't see one. I don't know of one. But regardless, we're going to go ahead and jump in, and I'm going to make a point of playing realistically. So, you saw, if you watched the race this morning, the GP from Spain, you saw Grosjean. Last week, he hit the wall warming up his tires behind the safety car. And today, he looped the thing on turn 4 of lap 1 and took out 2 other cars. So it happens, and for the cars that got taken out, really both of them, there wasn't much they could do. I saw the replay. We all saw the replay many times. There wasn't really much of anything they could have done. I feel like Grosjean was at fault. Like Crofty said, they put those runouts in there for a reason. You're supposed to use them and not spin the car back onto the track. That's why they built all the runouts. So if that happens to us during our season, rather than restart, I'm just going to call it racing, and we'll get 0 points for that round. Now, we also can't assign points the way they're assigned in real life. It just doesn't exist in the game or in Content Manager, so points are going to be a little bit different, but it will count. It will make sense. And it's just going to have to be a bit of a compromise. It's just a game. Nobody cares. But I'll try to get I'll try to get safety car and some kind of penalty or caution mod going if one exists. We'll see. But that's what's coming up for the next few months, I guess. We're going to do probably one Grand Prix per week. And what I might do is, when I get caught up to real life, what I might do is I might do a Grand Prix, whatever the stop is for that week, whatever the circuit is for that week. I might race that circuit, which is simultaneously kind of a really cool thing to do and kind of a really silly thing to do. And I am really cool and I am really silly, so I think it's a perfect fit. But that's the plan. It will change, of course. And depending on how well it's going and how frustrating it is, I might just take a look. I don't know if Codemasters does a deal where, they have like a golden ticket, golden pass for F1, where you get the new one every year if you become a whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like unlimited DLC. You pay the $99 and you get all DLC for all time. Who knows? But I'll take a look. Right. Well, here we are. This was quick. We're going to start working our way back up Italy, up the Italian mainland, and we'll load some scenery. We'll load some scenery. Yeah. There you go. You see how I've learned to deal with that? 100% SSD still happens. It's cool. Not going to bother me. Woo-sa. Woo-sa. So we'll start working our way back up the Italian mainland. And when we get sort of up toward the continent proper, we'll think about what we want to do, whether we want to head west to Reims and pick up our Mercedes, or whether we want to head east up into Poland, and then we'd have to decide again, because we could either go up through Hungary and Poland and then head west back to Reims, or we could head up through Baltic states and go loop back around through Scandinavia, going anti-clockwise this time instead of clockwise. Decisions. So I think if I try it in cab. I think I can get it so it's on the correct side. No blind side. You know what I'm talking about. Where's he going? What's he doing? What's his name again? Right. So, alright, let's see if we can do this. Close. Sort of close. Alright. Hey, it's better than it's been. We've had some catastrophes. Alright. You know what? I'm calling it. How'd we do? Beautiful. Another 10 grand and a couple more trips and we'll level up. Folks, thank you so much for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of European Truck Simulator 2. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.